All right, 20 days down, halfway. Uh, I probably keep saying this, I think I do, but it's amazing how quickly the time is going. Like, there've been a couple of times where I look up at the clock and oh shit, I got 2 more hours before lunch or dinner or whatever. And it's usually when I'm tired. It's hard to kind of just keep at it. So those times I'll try to do something that's a little less physically demanding, but still keep myself working. But this morning I had kind of for the first time this experience of like being played, I guess, so to speak. It wasn't, as far as like what was being played, it wasn't like anything amazing. It happened to be when I was playing conga, which is kind of interesting. Makes me glad that I brought it's like a little conga practice thing. It sounds like a conga, but it's just the head of the drum without a shell, so you just put it on a little stand. So I've been working on that, working on my conga technique, and I'm very much more a beginner on conga than I am on drum set, because there's like basic hand techniques that you kind of have to learn. You only have one drum, but based on how you hit it and the shape of your hand and whether you're leaving your hand on the skin or immediately taking it off, that changes the tone and the sound that you get. And that's just something you have to develop by putting the hours on. It's not something that you can just start hitting the drum and go, oh, like this, like this, like this. Okay, I got it. You can I've understood how that works, how the different techniques work. I've understood that for years, but I've never taken the time to actually develop the techniques. So that was one thing that I wanted to kind of do. Since I was going to be drumming for 40 days, I might as well do that, get that going. So this morning I did one of the meditations out of the book and then started playing conga. And in this book he keeps talking about like letting trying to only play like what wants to come out effortlessly, and that might mean that you have to play some stuff that doesn't sound very good. So in other words, you're kind of trying to like let a part of you play the drums almost in the way like play the drums or your instrument almost in a way like a child would, because a child isn't going to approach the instrument with this kind of this mental thing like, okay, well, I've got to play the right notes and they've got to sound good, and all these like this mental stuff that we have built up, trying to get it right and trying to make it sound like this, and this sounds good and that doesn't sound good, and all of this, the judgment and all of that stuff. And so he really encourages you to get away from any type of judgment and trying to just feel like every sound that you make out of the instrument is a good sound. In the book he actually says, it's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard, every single note that you play. So I kind of try to put myself in that mindset, like, it's hard for me to kind of say it the way he wants you to say it, so I kind of just do it like, oh, that sounds cool, this sounds cool, I like this, it's kind of what I'm saying in my head. And even though, like, when I was doing this stuff this morning, I've been experimenting with this, just kind of this, getting in this state of like effortless playing and not caring what it sounds like. And so I was literally just like flopping my hands around on the drum and scraping them and just doing whatever, just this random sounding stuff. It sounded like a raccoon scurrying across the head or something, just this nonsensical sounds and stuff, but trying to listen to it in the way that I would like listen to crickets or listen to, I don't know, any, the sound of in a machine shop or just some non-musical sound that I might listen to and think that it kind of sounded interesting. So that did that for quite a while, like, and really the whole time trying to kind of be free in my head and non-judgmental, and stayed that way as much as I could, and then eventually kind of like got to the point to where like there was a rhythm starting to happen, but I was kind of trying to let it happen effortlessly, and I've been working on the techniques, so then trying to play the drum without paying any attention to those techniques was, kind of tricky because I'm trying to develop these techniques. I want to work on them, but at the same time, like, just kind of, okay, well, I'm just going to kind of let my hands do whatever they want to do. And so I actually got to the point to where it kind of felt like a flow of energy or something, and to where like my hands were actually kind of playing by themselves, and they moved through kind of different techniques in a way, and it was really pretty cool, man. Really pretty powerful experience, and it made me realize that in some ways I've been holding back on the conga in particular, because of fear of damage to my hands, because I was playing it at certain points. I was playing pretty hard, but doing so in such a relaxed way that it didn't hurt, and it didn't, like, afterwards my hands still felt fine. But I think I can play hard like that if I'm in that state where I'm completely relaxed. So yeah, it's kind of a interesting thing. The rest of the day, it was somewhat practiced like normal. Yeah, it was interesting to kind of have like a pretty rough day yesterday, and it's always darkest before the light, so it felt kind of dark yesterday, and then felt like I got some light shed on my practice, on my connection. So yeah, let's hope I can keep that up. I have yet to have it happen that kind of pronounced or that dramatically on the drum set. I think there's a lot more trying, because the drum set is my profession, and that's how I earn my living, and so there are certain requirements of me to sound a certain way. So to be totally free on the drum set is kind of a little tougher than you might think, But I got 20 more days. So, all right, y'all. See you tomorrow.